This is the FTX Tracer. It has been around for a little while now. It's essentially just a rebranded HBX 16890, and it's also known as the Black Zon Slider ST. You can get two different versions of this Truggy. I've actually got the brushed one, but they do sell a brushless version. It shares lots of components with the very popular 1/16 scale monster truck, the 16889, which is one of the most durable and beginner-friendly RC monster trucks I have ever owned and reviewed on my channel. It's quick enough for most, it's durable, and it's built to take the abuse of beginners in the RC hobby, and it's also ideal for skate park fans. Most importantly, it is cheap and spares are available everywhere. For this reason, I thought it would be a great idea to revisit the FTX Tracer and get it back out for another run, as I still think it's a great option for beginners in 2022. I'll leave a link in the description below if you want to check out my 2021 review of this Truggy, but if not, I will briefly run through the box contents and talk about some of the features this truck comes with before taking it back out for another run. I'm just going to use the original footage from the review video, as nothing has changed on this little Truggy. If you've already seen that video or you already know what comes with the HBX 1/16 scale range, then feel free to skip this part. So let's take a quick look at what we actually get included in the box with this FTX Tracer. Now, the first thing we get is some spare body clips. Always nice to have a few of these around because you do end up losing these. They are quite small. We've got a half-used sticker sheet there. That's because I have already applied the stickers to the body shell. Now, this does come with a fairly small 800 milliamp lithium ion battery. This isn't a LiPo, this is a lithium ion. USB charger, pretty much your standard sort of USB charger. You charge the battery through the balance port. Pretty much standard stuff that you see on these cheap RCs. Now, FTX have actually included a set of LED lights, and I believe these are for the front bumper. Now, I do also believe they do actually sell the monster truck as well, and I have a feeling that these are actually pre-fitted on the monster truck, but not on the actual Truggy. So it's nice that they've actually included those if you do want to fit those in. We also get a black and white manual. Again, pretty much standard stuff. It just covers how to set your transmitter up, your trims. Actually, as I was saying about the headlights, there is actually a section in the manual which covers how to actually install the headlights, which is a very nice little addition. Installing the rear wing, I have already done that as well, and that is just 2 screws just on the rear wing mount. Really easy to do, and they do actually include a screwdriver as well, which is again another nice little addition. So like I said, transmitter operation, running your car, just giving you the very basics of what you should be doing. This does come with a throttle speed switch, so you can actually turn it up and down, and a few maintenance items that may be required. Apart from that, a very brief and basic user manual, and it is in black and white, but absolutely nothing wrong with that. Taking a look at the transmitter. Now, I have actually seen this before on another model that I do actually own, and another model I did review on the channel, but we'll come to that in a moment. Pretty much standard stuff. You've got your steering trim, your speed switch, so you can turn the throttle up and down depending on how confident you are, and just does have a very cheap feel to it. I've got to be honest in that respect. This does feel very cheap, and I'm pretty sure I said exactly the same thing when I reviewed the other model as well. Now, from what I can remember, if I can actually get this apart, yeah, this does take only 2 AA batteries, which does keep the overall weight of the transmitter down. Only 2 are required on this transmitter. So overall, a nice selection of stuff that you actually get included in the box. Now, this is 1/16 scale. It does feature fully proportional steering and throttle as well. Usual sort of stuff. This does have a 3-in-1 unit with the ESC. I believe it's also a 390 sized brush motor there with a heatsink. The servo on this, I believe, is a 1 kilogram servo, and you do get a servo saver as well. The battery we already looked at earlier on. It's an 800 milliamp lithium ion. Now, when it comes to the shocks, these things are friction shocks on this, so this is a little bit bouncy, which again was one of my complaints with the Haiboxing 16889. Now, that is easily solved with a set of oil-filled shocks, and they do sell those. They are readily available, and that is potentially going to be one of your first upgrades if you do buy one of these. As you can see, it does bottom out quite easily because the friction shocks are pretty rubbish, to be fair. But yeah, overall, this thing, do you know what? It actually feels really good. When it comes to the tyres, they are quite squishy. They do feel quite soft as well, and I can see in those being quite grippy. This has got plastic drive shafts, and again, they do sell the metal upgrades. If you do want to actually spend a little bit of money on this and upgrade it, they do sell the metal drive shafts for you to upgrade. Yeah, really, really nice. Now, if you decide you want to run the LED lights on this, that is absolutely fine. There is a cutout there, and there's also one on the opposite side of the bumper. You literally just push the LEDs in, you run the cable to the ESC, you plug it into the ESC, down there, next to the 5-wire servo lead, and you will have your front LEDs working. So you have got your on and off switch on the side there. When it comes to the rear wing, this is secured by 2 screws. Now, I did pre-fit this before doing this video. Very, very easy. 2 screws, and that goes on absolutely fine. No issues at all. Now, you can't actually see them, but this does actually come with ball bearings all around as well, which again, something at this price point, excellent little feature. So overall look and feel, I'm struggling to find anything that really stands out that I don't like about this. Just like with the 16889, I really did struggle to find things that I didn't like, apart from the friction shocks, and obviously the use of the 5-wire servo, making brushless conversions that little bit more, not difficult, just a little bit more long-winded, if you will. Apart from that, I really can't find any major issues with this. Some of you may be thinking this thing is incredibly similar to the 16889, and you wouldn't be wrong. So take a quick look at my comparison. Now, this is my 16889 here. I've had this thing quite a while. As you can see, it has been used and abused, but I don't think it is only the transmitter that it actually shares with the FTX Tracer. This thing looks pretty much identical. The body layout, the internal components, everything is exactly the same. Now, my thinking is FTX have obviously taken this design and rebranded it and made it their own. Now, that isn't an issue because parts for this can sometimes be a little bit hard to get hold of, or they have to be ordered in from China. So especially here in the UK, having a model that uses exactly the same parts, if you do own a 16889, this thing is ideal, and buying the FTX parts will hopefully be an exact match for the Haiboxing stuff. Overall, not a bad little Truggy for the price, and it's good that there are metal components available should you wish to upgrade it. Brushless is also an option, but I think for a beginner, this is probably going to be more than enough. Right, that's enough talking. Let's get the batteries charged up. Let's head out and give the FTX Tracer its first run of 2022. Right, so let's get this thing out for its first run of 2022. The first thing we're going to do is a speed test. I didn't do one last year, so let's find out how fast this little Truggy is. I'm going to be using one of these tiny 1000 milliamp hour 2S lipos. You actually get a lithium ion battery with the Truggy itself, but I'm going to use one of these today. Right, let's see what we get on 2S. I'm not expecting any crazy speeds out of this. It's a tiny little Truggy. Full throttle. What do we think? I'm going to say 15, 16 miles per hour, something like that. It has only got that tiny little 390 brushed motor, so I'm not expecting miracles from this. And I don't think you're going to buy one of these, especially in its brush setup. I don't think you're going to buy one of these for speed. And these are certainly a beginner inspired RC Truggy. Right, give it one more pass. Oh. Right, so let's see what we got. 17 miles per hour. Actually, that's not too bad, considering this thing is tiny and it's only got that 390 sized brush motor. 17 miles per hour is respectable. There we go then, that was the FTX Tracer. Now this isn't the fastest thing out there, it's also not the best performing, but we have to remember this thing is seriously cheap. And because it's so cheap, it's the perfect little car for anyone who's looking to get into the RC hobby, or anyone who doesn't really want to spend a huge amount of money. Something like this is ideal. So we're going to leave the video there today. If you want to see more on the Tracer, then be sure to check out the original video that I did last year. I will leave a link in the description below. Cheers for watching, and I'll see you again soon on the next one. Take care.